Rahman, just by listening to it over and over again. Put your phone in your ear, put your Bluetooth on or your earplugs or whatever, and just listen to it over and over. You will learn it if you listen to it, and you don't even have to buy a CD. I was trying to back that up, so keep it back closer. Well, you know why I'm backing it up? I looked at the DVD from last first Sunday, and I was just a speck, and I guess it's because I was out in front of that light. So I wanted to put it back where the light will also help the board. Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you very much. All right, so that takes care of that. Brother Akbar will send you a part of our commission for giving us that beautiful information on how they can learn Arabic. All right. Okay, so that takes care of it. We don't have to talk about get up and listen. You got your phone already. You know you're not even smart unless you have a smartphone. So you got it already. Just use your phone to your advantage, and instead of gossiping now, you can listen to the Quran. And isn't that beautiful? And on time when we're coming up to Ramadan, where we can listen to the whole of the Quran, in Arabic, even though we're reading. And I dropped that too, brother. Thank you, Brother Lasay. All right, Brother Lasay got the meaning of his name also. He asked me about the meaning of his name last week. I told him I didn't know. I don't play like I know if I don't. But I'll share it with you since they were discussing in the room after class. And it's actually two words. Lasay. Lasay. And say means evil, bad, something. And la means no. So he's not doing any evil, any bad. So it's a beautiful name. And I think he said Allah just blessed him with that thought.
Or that name.
That name, and so he didn't know what it was, and I told him I didn't know either. But I don't play like I know if I don't know. All right? Okay, so
thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. One of the first things I did when I got home last first Sunday was and wrote it on a little piece of paper so I wouldn't forget, and then put the paper where I stumble over when I come out the door, so I make sure I got it to you. All right. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We were working on diphthongs. All right. But before we get to the diphthongs, I want to show you a little something, because a sister asked me about a word that we gave you last week which had a diphthong in it. It was a diphthong. Remember, we have 4 diphthongs. Pen too smart for me. We have 4 diphthongs. We have a, and we covered that one sufficiently last week. A. We have au. We will do this one this week, and we will do the other 2, we and you. All right, now, the sister asked me about the word kasayibin. That was one of the words that I gave you as an example. Kasayibin. It was from the 2nd chapter and the 19th verse. And the reason why I want to show you, I told her what she was trying to get the correct spelling of it. And of course it's spelled with sod as opposed to sin. So, but I want to show you something about it. This is just a little extra something. It's not directly related to diphthong per se, but here's the word. Event. All right. This is the root word. This is from the root word here. Ka sayiba. All right. Sayiba. And this is makes it like a compound word or as a prefix. Ka meaning like. So you'll run into a lot of words like that. I just want to share that with you. In other words, this is not one word. This is actually 2 words. All right. This is like, and this is pouring rain or clouds. All right. Like clouds. Okay. So I just want to share that you'll run into a lot of words like that. And boy, I have to be very careful today because Abdullah is in here. But he would tell me if I'm wrong. But I did want to correct Brother Akbar when he said, he'll say Abdullah and nobody will know who Abdullah is. That's all of us. We may not be wearing the name Abdullah, but each of us is Abdullah. We're Ibadullah. Is that right?
Right.
We are the slave servants of Allah. All right. So now, this one we gave you example, i.e., what I'm going to do for the i.e. today, just by way of review, is just give you the verses, and then you got the advance. And I wrote the words up here last week, which took quite a bit of time because the board is shaking, and so I'm just going to give you the verses, and you go and find the i.e. All right? You go and find. I also showed you last week, if you remember, how some of your i.e. sounds may not be just like this. You know, they may be at the end of a word where the a is coming from the prefix or from the previous word, and the e is the beginning of the next word. All right. So these I'm going to write the verses up here, and then you find them, and you should do that. All right. 1, 6, and then 1, 7, and then 2, 23, and also 2, 2, I'm sorry, okay, 2, 2, like the 2, 2, and then 2, 23, and then we had 2, 3 again, and we had 2, 4. Those are verses where you have, and I have some more. I got think about 7 and all. These are then I have 2, 8. More than 4, more than 7, 2, 8. I think I started out with the intention of doing 7, and I wound up doing more. That's what happened. 2, 19, 2, 21, and 2, 28. And I'm sorry, and 2, 20. That was one that I threw in for some reason. Now, I'm not going to go over these again, but when you want to run into one of them, for instance, 2, 8, you may have a difficult time trying to find it. I'll remind you that I showed you about a particle, men, and then that was before the word Yaqul. Men is the word that means who, and Yaqul is say, they say. So it's a who say. Yaqul, and so instead of saying man Yaqul, we say may Yaqul. May Yaqul. All right, this is, if you remember, just refreshing your memory on that. Now, and that's what you'll have when you get to 2, 8. You'll have may Yaqul, and it's written man Yaqul. Maybe I'll just show you that right quick so you see. All right, just by way of helping you. Man, and then man Yaqul. All right. Man, and this is not pronounced man. The clue for you, and this is why I want to write up here. The clue for you is when you see a word that begins with a shadda, I mean, it has a little W on there. Begins with a shadda, that's the clue. That word is to be pronounced with the preceding word. All right. And in this case, so something will happen to the end of that preceding word. In this case, the noon is dropped in pronunciation. You always have to write drop in pronunciation, and we go from the a to the ai. All right? Everybody understand that now? Now, there's another characteristic that I want to remind you before we go to the ai and the ui and eu diphthongs. I have a card for each one. And that is that the characteristic of diphthongs is that we take a short vowel, which is going to be a sign, right, and pronounce it with a different long vowel. If you pronounce it with the same long vowel, you're just going to get the same sound, right? So you pronounce, for instance, we pronounce a with e, and we get a. We pronounce a with u, we get a-u. We pronounce u with e, we get oi. We pronounce E with oo, we get ew. All right? Okay. So it must be, in other words, that's the standard, that you have a short vowel first, joined together with a different long vowel to give us a new sound. And that new sound is categorized as a diphthong. Any questions on that? By the way, this is not a don't interrupt me situation, all right? You can always ask questions, okay? So everybody understand now what the standard characteristics